Live execution, or sometimes worse. In a world where power is measured in blood and bullets, some influencers thought they could do anything. Some mocked, some exposed, some just got too close. And the drug lords, they responded the only way they know how, mercilessly. Here are 7 times when influencers messed with the wrong drug lords. Number 7. El Pinky. A video surfaced. A man bound at the hands and feet, his face swollen beyond recognition. The screams were muffled, but the horror was loud. People watched, confused at first, but then someone recognized him. The realization spread like wildfire. El Pinky was dead. Augustin Paul, better known as El Pinky, was no small-time influencer. His YouTube channel, Los Plebes de Barrancos, had nearly 100,000 followers, and his Instagram had another 30,000. He was young, funny, and full of life. Viral challenges, pranks, comedy, that's all it was supposed to be, just entertainment. But somehow his body was found dumped like trash near the Benito Juarez State bypass. 1 bullet to the head, a message written in blood. But why? El Pinky's murder wasn't random. It was a warning. A war was raging between 2 rival factions of the Sinaloa Cartel, Los Chapitos and La Maitza, and social media had become part of their battlefield. In early January, flyers rained down from the sky over Culiacán. Accusations, names. El Pinky's was one of them. He had been publicly marked as a cartel money launderer, someone who glorified the drug trade in his videos. Peso Pluma, Marquitos Toys, and others were on the list too. Some of them were powerful, some of them were protected. El Pinky wasn't. The days before his death, he was hopeful. His final Instagram post was almost poetic, a message about overcoming struggles, about gratitude, about moving forward into a new year. He never made it. Now his fans are left in shock. A young man, full of life, erased in an instant. The entertainment world in Mexico is holding its breath because El Pinky wasn't the first, and he won't be the last. But the real question is, did El Pinky know? Did he see it coming? What do you think? Number 6. Sabrina Durán Montero. TikTok fame, flashy jewelry, a life of crime, and in the end, a brutal execution. For Sabrina Durán Montero, social media wasn't just a platform, it was a throne. On TikTok, she was Joaquina Guzman, a not-so-subtle nod to Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. To her followers, she was a rising influencer. To the Chilean authorities, a convicted drug trafficker, a gang leader. Her final TikTok video, a casual product review in a Tommy Hilfiger t-shirt and gold chains, was recorded just minutes before her murder. By the time she lay dead in the streets of Padre Hurtado, that video had racked up millions of views. Ina, as her friends called her, never had a chance at a normal life. The youngest of 9 siblings, she grew up surrounded by drugs, entering the business as a teenager. By her early 20s, she was running the show in Peñaflor, a Santiago suburb plagued by crime. Convicted for drug trafficking, she was sentenced to over a year in prison, but even behind bars, she thrived. Posting reggaeton dance videos, flaunting flashy jewelry, and embracing her title as the Narco Queen of Peñaflor. Authorities scrambled to seize illegal phones inside the prison, but for powerful inmates, phones always find a way back in. And in a country where nearly 20,000 phones were confiscated from inmates this year alone, the truth was clear. Chile's prison walls couldn't contain crime anymore. Ina's social media presence made her larger than life, but was she really in control? She was more of a symbol than a kingpin, a product of Chile's growing narco culture, where crime is a lifestyle. She was living proof of a broken system, where young people idolized criminals and the government struggled to offer a better way out. October 24th, 2023.
Oh shit, what the fuck? Wait.
But just months after being released from prison, Ina was executed in broad daylight. Bullets tore through her body. No mercy, no hesitation. Her murder was a statement. To the authorities, a sign that crime in Chile is evolving. To her followers, a final, brutal reminder that narco fame comes at a cost. And in the streets of Santiago, where crime fills the void left by a failing system. Number 5. Valentín Elizalde. Valentín Elizalde had just finished his performance in Reynosa, Tamaulipas. The crowd was still roaring. He smiled, waved to his fans, and stepped off the stage. He had no idea he was walking straight into his execution. His SUV was waiting. He climbed in, alongside his manager and his driver. The doors shut, and then the bullets came fast. 20 shots. His fans screamed in horror. Some ran, some froze, some even filmed. The execution of Valentín Elizalde was uploaded to YouTube before the night was over. And why? Because of one song. Elizalde wasn't just another singer. He was the Golden Rooster, the son of a famous musician. Born in Jitonjueca, Sonora, raised in Sinaloa. His father, Everardo Lalo Elizalde, had been a legend himself until he died in a car crash on the infamous Curva de la Muerte. Valentín was destined for greatness and danger. His big break came in 1998 when he first performed in Sonora. By 1999, he had his first album, Corridos, songs that told stories of power, loyalty, and violence. But one song in particular sealed his fate, A Mis Enemigos, a bold, fearless anthem. A song that many believed was a direct insult to Los Zetas. Los Zetas, the most feared cartel in Mexico. But Elizalde, he sang it anyway. In concert, on television, even in cartel-controlled territories. A warning was inevitable, but he didn't listen. And so, on November 25th, 2006, in Reynosa, they silenced him. His murderer was Raúl Hernández Barrón, a high-ranking Zetas member. He was arrested 2 years later, but it didn't matter. The message had been sent. Elizalde lived like a king and died like a warning. But was it a mistake, or was it defiance? Because if he were still alive today, would he sing it again? Number 4. Marisol Macías Castañeda, or as the internet knew her, La Nena de Laredo, wasn't a soldier. Her weapon was a keyboard. She fought not with bullets, but with words, exposing the violence, the corruption, the terror that gripped Nuevo Laredo. She posted updates on social media, warning her community about cartel movements. People relied on her. She was a voice in the darkness, until the darkness silenced her. It started with threats, anonymous warnings from faceless accounts, but she didn't stop. How could she? Every post she made on Nuevo Laredo en Vivo was a lifeline, helping people avoid danger, escape gunfights, and stay alive. She had worked at El Mañana, a newspaper that had already been attacked twice, and that made the cartels furious. Marisol, as editor-in-chief of Primera Hora, was making enemies. She named names, she pointed fingers, she challenged Los Zetas. And on September 24th, 2011, they answered. Her body was found near the Christopher Columbus Monument, a landmark in Nuevo Laredo, decapitated, her head placed on top of the stone structure like a trophy. Beside her, a terrifying message. Okay, Nuevo Laredo en Vivo and social media sites. I am Nena de Laredo, and I'm here because of my reports, for trusting in the Army and Marines. Thank you for your attention. ZZZZ. Next to her mutilated corpse, the cartel left a keyboard, cables, and discs, a brutal reminder this was a war, and she had lost. Number 3. Juan Luis Lagunas Rosales. At just 17 years old, Juan Luis Lagunas Rosales, better known as El Pirata del Culiacán, was already a social media legend, and fame is a dangerous drug. With nearly 800,000 followers on Facebook, 37,000 on Twitter, and over 320,000 on Instagram, he had built an empire on chaos. Drugs, alcohol, money, women, weapons. Born in Villa Juárez, Sinaloa, Juan Luis never had much. His mother abandoned him. He never met his father. He was on his own. By 15, he had left home, quit school, and was washing cars in Culiacán just to survive.
El lighter, güey, pásame el lighter. ¿Y Chanito, güey? ¿Qué onda con Chanito? Un trago, sabuito.
Pirata.
Pirata, sabuito, ¿qué?
¡Chanito! ¡Chanito!
acá, Culiacán.
Then he turned on a camera. He drank until he passed out, snorted drugs until his nose bled, staggered through the streets with bottles in his hands, and the internet loved it. With every viral video, his fame grew. He started appearing in music videos, getting invited to private parties, and rubbing shoulders with narco corridos singers, musicians who glorified the cartel lifestyle. He was living the narco dream until he crossed the wrong man. November 9th, 2017, a new video dropped. In it, El Pirata de Culiacán did something unthinkable. He mocked Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, better known as El Mencho, the leader of the Jalisco Nueva Generación cartel, or the CJNG.
Papa, yo te me pongo a traer lo que sea la verga. Así que el Mencho a mí me pela la verga.
Mencho gives me a hard time, he laughed. For most people, that was just reckless bravado. For El Mencho, it was an invitation to die. 1 month later, December 18th, 2017, Juan Luis announced his next appearance at the Menta 2 Cantaras bar in Tlajomulco. He told the world where he'd be, and they were waiting. That night, as soon as El Pirata stepped inside the bar, a group of armed men stormed in and they opened fire. 15 bullets. His body crumpled to the floor, and just like that, the legend was over. El Pirata de Culiacán lived fast and died faster. Some call him reckless. Some called him a fool, but in the end, he became exactly what his videos glorified, another victim of the narco world. Number 2. Juan Carlos Lopez, aka El Chilango, a TikToker known for selling candy and showing support for El Chapo and his sons. The answer came at 7:45 p.m. on a Culiacán street in a pool of his own blood. With thousands of followers, he used TikTok to document his life selling sweets in the bustling streets of Sinaloa. But it wasn't just candy he was selling. His videos were filled with subtle and not so subtle nods to Los Chapitos, the cartel faction led by Ivan Archivalo Guzman, the son of the infamous Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. Pizza emojis, hidden messages, glorification of cartel culture. El Chilango was playing a dangerous game, and the wrong people were watching. His association with Marquitos Toys, a YouTuber with alleged cartel ties, only fueled speculation. Marquitos was rumored to be deeply connected to Los Chapitos, possibly even helping fund their war against La Maíza, their rival cartel. He even cried on social media when El Nini, a top security chief for Los Chapitos, was arrested in November 2023. And El Chilango was right in the middle of it. Then came the pizza emojis. Cartels love their symbols. For Los Chapitos, it was pizza boxes. For La Maíza, it was sombreros. If a body was found with a pizza box, it wasn't just murder, it was a message. With every TikTok, he was stepping deeper into cartel politics, whether he realized it or not. And not long after came the time when his fate was completely sealed. A busy street, a gas station, a bank nearby. El Chilango was filming another TikTok when gunmen arrived. Multiple shots. When police arrived, he was lifeless on the pavement. Just another victim of the cartel's digital battleground. Number 1. Pamela Montenegro. When laughter turns lethal, who's really in control? For Pamela Montenegro, satire was a weapon. With her curly wig, oversized glasses, and fearless wit, she mocked corrupt politicians and exposed cartel violence in Acapulco, one of Mexico's most dangerous cities. Her online persona, La Nana Pelucas, or the granny with the wig, started as a light-hearted character. Beauty tutorials, cultural talks, and interviews with politicians. But behind the laughs, Pamela was digging into the rot that ruled Guerrero. Pamela's journey started in youth television, but she quickly found her true calling, journalism with bite. In 2012, she launched El Sillon Uno, an online magazine, and then took her bold, unfiltered reporting to YouTube in 2015. Her satire made people laugh. It also made powerful people nervous. Local officials, cartel leaders, corrupt politicians. She called them out, fearlessly fearlessly, unapologetically, and then the threats started. But the threats had to come to an end. February 5th, 2018, late afternoon. Pamela was at her restaurant in Acapulco, sitting with her husband, Samuel Munyutsuri. It was supposed to be just another day until two men walked in and opened fire. Pamela was hit twice. The gunmen fled as quickly as they arrived. No names, no arrests, just silence. But what do you think? Did they do the right thing? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and explore more untold stories from the criminal underworld. Hit subscribe and stay connected. Power never truly fades.